And welcome to this special edition of Retail Media Thursdays live here in Cannes. My name is Michelle Irwin, VP of Marketing at Sky, and today I'm at Nectar 360's Retail Media Summit, where I'm going to be grabbing a bunch of people and getting their thoughts on all things retail media. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Amir Asek, I'm Managing Director at Nectar 360.
My name's Corey Weeks, VP of Agency Solutions at Shallion.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Bustos. I'm the Vice President of Measurement, Addressability, and Data at the IAB.
Alice, welcome back to Retail Media Thursdays.
Thank you for having me.
Paul Windsor. I lead our retail industry go-to-market for EMEA.
Congratulations on an amazing event today.
Thank you. It's been a lot of hard work, but obviously working with you guys has been a pleasure as always, and it's been a great turnout.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's been a brilliant day and fantastic content. What's been your highlight?
Oh gosh, so many highlights. I think seeing Mark, our CMO, speak at his first Cannes ever in marketing, which is amazing. We had an amazing conversation with Craig, talking all about actually what are their thoughts. Colin Lewis, as always, what a legend. He's been great. But actually just seeing some of those opinions that often get missed, I think, at events like this when, actually it is about the customer. It is about kind of data privacy. It is about kind of pushing the boundaries and really competing with the big boys.
What I love is just seeing the collaborative conversations that are going on. Like you had brands, agencies, tech companies like Sky together on stage having these conversations, and it's a good litmus test to see where we're at as an industry and what needs to be priorities for kind of for next steps.
I think the highlight has been just the real focus around retail media as a network. I mean, I think this is an event that typically is about medias, advertisers and agencies, but I think what we're now seeing is more retailers actually having a voice as part of this event as well, so it's been that.
What's been your highlight?
I have absolutely loved all of today, and I think what went particularly well is just hearing all the different perspectives. So we've heard from retailers themselves, like Pools, 7-Eleven, Sainsbury's, from the media agencies, from the brands. We just hosted a panel and focused more on creativity, and we had one of our creative agencies, Further 5, talk about the power of creative in retail media. So just hearing all of those different platforms as well, like all of those different perspectives has been really amazing. I don't think I've seen that anywhere else on the agenda.
The highlight of Cannes so far is just seeing everyone. That's what the highlight for me is every year. Seeing old friends and meeting clients, of course, and having the discussions we have here you can't really have anywhere else.
Okay, so what do you wish you'd known 12 months ago about retail media that you know now?
It's hard, there's so many moving parts, but I think, when we look at the complexity of what's being asked of these retail media networks, a lot of it is kind of the spotlight is shined brightly on the retailer and what they need to do to solve for this. And the reality is I didn't really realize just how some of the largest classic, walled garden publishers would be leaning in to meet them halfway, the Metas of the world, the Googles of the world, and from an offsite perspective.
What do you know about retail media now that you didn't know 12 months ago and wish you had?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think as we were looking at measurement standards, and I think it's something that Sky's talked a lot about, is how do you standardize someone while ensuring you have flexibility? Like the idea that like Best Buy, Walmart, Kroger should have the same measurement standards. Like it sounds great, but like when you actually think about it, you're like, wait, purchase cadence, customers, consumer journey, they're all different. Yeah. They should not have the same that. So it was a lot of like, how do you balance standardization with flexibility, which I know they're like kind of sound like opposites, but I think that there was a road forwards in that. And kind of like that's probably the biggest challenge as we develop the standards. But yeah,
I think it's the fact that actually that there is so much competition in our industry, and I think when you're starting out, like that competition can feel really scary, and like you are competing, whereas actually I wish we'd have just let all of that go, And some of the quotes that we've heard over this weekend or over this week is that as boats we all rise together, and I really believe that. So I wish I'd have left some of that baggage behind 12 months ago.
I think it's understanding the sheer challenge involved with the amount of organisations that need to actually make retail media work. So it all starts with the heart of the customer data, and that's really important about making sure that that's secure, but using it in a way that actually can activate and have conversations and engagements with customers.
I think it would probably be the speed that this industry is moving at, and I shouldn't be surprised given I've been doing and I've been doing it for 10 years, and it's certainly stepped up over the last 5 years. But it's just the velocity of how the conversations are coming about. It's such a hyper competitive market.
What's funny is I think we're still talking about a lot of the same growing pains as what we were talking about last year. So measurement, but also just the fact that there's so much fragmentation of retail media. So I think it's interesting that we're still talking about those same topic areas. However, what I have noticed this year is just how much more noise and dialogue there is from everyone and how much it is on the agenda. So I think what I wish I knew is that we were still going to be talking about those same things. However, I do think because there is so much focus and attention on it, actually next year we'll have moved the needle somewhat more.
And where are we going to be when we're sat here 12 months time on the Quasat?
Well, I think the way it's going is one of the sessions we've just heard about is that retail media is in its teenage years. I think that in the next 12 months, how fast everything's going from an acceleration point of view, I think we're going to start to see some real seamless adoption of how retail media works. Data will play a real part of that, and to make that easy and lower the barrier of how data is used is going to be, I think, the biggest transformation we'll see.
And I think that the future or the growth in retail media will be like, how can I use the media data to help inform how I should be looking at my inventory, my supply chain, my fulfillment? Because that's where a lot of the value is for brands. Like, how can I reduce costs? How can, should I be running ads in Chicago when nobody's buying my product, or like my product is not there at the store anymore because it's exhausted, but maybe in New York City, like I'm having issues moving products, I need to move them. So I think having like that smarter data, faster signals, to your point, brands want to be able to leverage that data for their objectives. So I think that we're going to see a lot more unification of the data, more of that collaboration within that retailer to really drive more value to the brands.
Yeah, I agree. That connectivity of the data across not just your performance data, but the retail data, everything else that comes with it is going to be key.
Collaboration is going to be key over the next 12 months. As we start to think about standardization in retail media, there's going to be new data legislation, likely new government for us in the UK. So I think we're going to have to work together, and actually being able to share those ideas is really important, particularly for an industry that is still growing.
The only path forward is collaborations and partnerships in all of its forms, not necessarily just like formal partnerships, but other collaborations and other ways of working. So I'm excited to see what that looks like and how we start to connect the dots across the market.
The biggest change I hope we're a big player in bringing this about is I think the last 5 or so years have been about helping retailers launch and scale their programs, and retailers doing that. I think now a lot of the major retailers have launched their programs, they've become more mature in the space. I think the new problem to solve is the fragmentation of supply and demand. So you still have the problem where demand sits in 100 places, supply sits in 100 places, you don't have any standardization, and the industry needs to solve that problem. And that's something that I'm laser focused on. I think the industry will be focused on for the next 5 years.
Okay, so we have a tradition on Retail Media Thursdays where we have a quick fire round.
Ooh, all right, let's do it.
This is something new, so I'm going to get my phone out.
All right.
You've got 30 seconds.
Okay.
You have to name as many song titles with the word can in them as possible, starting now.
I have got no idea.
I don't think I can.
It's got to be a song title there.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
I can't even think of one.
I Believe I Can Fly.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the person to break the record, but can.
Can you feel the love tonight? Can you hear me knocking?
Can you feel in love tonight?
Yes.
Oh my word, yes.
Trying to like get into some different genres in my head, but I'm not getting anywhere.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry, I'm terrible with music.
You not got
I'm
one?
sorry.
I actually can't think of anything. That's really embarrassing.
No, there's been a few, don't worry.
Can.
Is that real?
I think so. It's like Moulin Rouge or something. I can't help falling in love with you.
That's it.
Oh, man.
You got 4.
Wow, that's bad.
Well, one thing we are talented at is our drinking of Aperol. So, and
Enjoy all of your drinks. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.